Hello and welcome back to Who Needs a Superhero, Chapter 8. Spider-Man! Saved for service. This is part 3. Being good or good for something. Sin, salvation, service. And peril, power, promise. Both lead to the same action, devoting oneself to a lifelong mission of gratitude. Unfortunately, many Christians overlook the final step in the process, as if the profession of faith in Jesus finishes their story. Quite the contrary is true. The Christian story has barely begun when Christ enters our lives. For we are what he has made us, Paul explained to the first Christians, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand to be our way of life. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. If we progress no further than sin, salvation, God's purpose for us is frustrated. Without service, our discipleship remains, sadly, incomplete. Superman beautifully expresses the healthy theology of gifts when he says, I look upon my powers as gifts, not mine alone, but for anyone who needs them. By his next appearance in Spider-Man #1, Peter Parker also accepts this truth and the calling to serve. He risks his life to rescue an astronaut in a runaway space capsule, and in the second story thwarts the Chameleon, a master spy. Finally, Spider-Man has completed the superhero pattern of peril, power, promise. Although learned at a bitter cost, the idea that with great power comes great responsibility has become Spider-Man's unofficial slogan. What about those of us with less fantastical, less apparent superpowers? I recall a story about a worship service of an African Christians. As the worshippers came forward one by one to bring their offerings to God, some brought money, others brought homegrown vegetables or handmade goods. One impoverished woman caught the true spirit of giving and danced to the front of the room and set the offering plate on the floor and stood in it. She knew the truth. Once Christ had claimed us for his own, the price of his blood, we had a great responsibility of joy. We offer all. We offer all. We are and all we have in his service. We not only need to be good, we also need to be good for something. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if you say you have faith, but you do not have works? If a brother or sister is naked and lacks daily food, and one of you says to them, go in peace, keep warm, and eat your fill, yet you do not supply their bodily needs, what is the good of that? So faith by itself, if it has no works, is dead. James chapter 2 verses 14 through 17. Some of us have grown up vicariously enjoying the accomplishments of superheroes, but we ordinary mortals also have opportunities to change the world. You don't need superpowers or unlimited resources to make a difference. What happens then? When we live out the full pattern of sin, salvation, service. Could our efforts improve the lives of people around us, grow the world closer to God's vision for humanity? Consider exercising a fairly modest gift of modest gift like the love for comic books. Huh? Can can such a gift improve the world? Many comic book collectors periodically purge their collection of duplicates, unwanted issues, and lesser quality books. I have friends who regularly donate surplus comics to local literary programs. Imagine the impact of helping a youngster master reading skills. That will shape his opportunities for decades to come. For several years, I've attended a major comic book convention that was organized as a fundraiser for the March of Dimes because a fan saw the potential to use his hobby as a means to generate income for medical research. Tens of thousands of dollars were raised over several years. On a recent visit to a comic book store, I noticed a drawing of Daredevil by local professional David Mark. The art was for sale to benefit the victim of a nearby house fire. Johnny Hart frequently includes Christian messages in his newspaper strip BC. The late Al Hartley, longtime artist for Archie Comics, used to create Christian comics using the Archie characters. Despite pressure from TV executives, Charles Schulz remained true to his Christian convictions while creating A Charlie Brown Christmas. The result is one of television's most enduring and endearing expressions of the real meaning of Christmas. Inker Gary Martin was contracted to finish the artwork for Nexus, GodCon. Martin was troubled by the book's theology, especially the treatment of Jesus in the story. With reservations, Martin fulfilled his work on the art, and a thoughtful editor allowed Martin to offer his Christian testimony in the letter column. A close friend of mine combines his faith with his love of comics to write Sunday school comics for a denominational publisher. Alex Ross provided painted art for the touching Superman Peace on Earth, a story we visited in Chapter 5. The book told the story of Superman's failed efforts to alleviate the world's hunger. Fittingly, Ross sold the original artwork from that book and donated the proceeds to charity. He's done likewise with art from several sequential books in the same series. I wouldn't presume to know the religious convictions of each person I've mentioned in this list, but in every case, these ordinary people have used the passion for comics to better the world. Immediately, the comic collecting is less of a formidable gift than flight or super strength. But that's the point. If God can use a mania for comic books, God can use any gift we offer. When we lay even our least promising gifts at God's feet, God has the knack for blessing their use. It's a principle that even a child can discover. At a recent outdoor concert, an orchestra conductor brought a kindergarten boy on stage for a bit of showmanship. Handing the boy his baton, the conductor instructed the boy to swing the wand in a strong downbeat. The boy hesitated, but with the conductor's encouragement, lashed the baton through the air. Immediately, a drum roll began. The orchestra rose and launched into the national anthem, and the audience immediately came to its feet. The wide-eyed 5-year-old boy was amazed at the results of one swing of the baton. Even small acts of faithfulness to carry out humble tasks within our reach yield far-reaching results. When God blesses our efforts, if we resolve to use the gifts God's given, He will take care of the results. Well, this is the end of part 3. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment, share. Tell me what you're thinking about all these stuff for Who Needs a Superhero. And we will see you back here, I think, for part 4, which might be the final part. But bye for now. God bless. Have a great, wonderful day.